the devil. In the biblical desert, there is a word that glints like shattered glass: Satan. At first, it is not even a name but a verb: to obstruct, to oppose. An angel sent by the Lord stands in the path of Balaam, the diviner whom God himself had authorized to go and curse the Israelites in the book of Numbers. The paradox is so perfect it burns. God permits and God prevents. The angel becomes a body blocking the road. Satan, a verb made flesh on a dusty path. And then that word stops moving and freezes into a proper name: the enemy, the opposer. In Scripture, he assumes a precise role: the accuser before God, the one who weighs souls the way a butcher weighs meat. With Job, he becomes the persecutor who acts only by divine permission, a hand that strikes yet is guided by another hand. But the biblical devil is not enough for men. Another story is required: more flesh, more blood. In the books of Enoch, those apocryphal texts many have hidden and others have continued to chew in secret, a different narrative emerges. The Watchers, angels who disobey God and descend to earth to unite with the daughters of men. Azazel, Semeyaza, names that taste of stone and wind. They bring forbidden knowledge: the art of war, metallurgy, astronomy, cosmetics. They teach women to paint their eyes and men to forge swords. And instead of watching over the flock, they take the women for themselves. God punishes them by casting them down into the desert, bound beneath the rocks to await the final judgment. But their children, the Nephilim, giants born of the union between heaven and earth, roam the world, sowing violence until the flood wipes them out. Or perhaps not. Perhaps their spirits remain, demons trapped in the air, in the dust, in the cracks of the world. The Jews of Jesus' time are immersed in this narrative. For them, evil is not singular but manifold. Legions. When Jesus meets the possessed man of Gerasa and asks his name, the demon replies, "Legion, for we are many." Not one devil, but an army of shadows invading a single body. And yet, Satan endures as a distinct figure. Christianity takes this multiplicity and organizes it. It constructs a precise demonology, infernal hierarchies, classifications. And as theology sharpens, the devil begins to absorb other figures. Hades, the Greek lord of the underworld, pagan chthonic deities who dwelt beneath the earth, Norse monsters that swallowed the sun. Pan with his horns and goat's hooves becomes the perfect image of the Christian demon. Then Lucifer arrives. The name comes from Isaiah. "How you have fallen from heaven, morning star, son of the dawn." It is a prophecy against the king of Babylon, yet someone bends it, forces it into the story told by Enoch without ever admitting that strange book into the canon. The most beautiful of angels, the bearer of light, rebels out of pride and is hurled into the abyss. The narrative closes the circle. The watchers fall through desire. Lucifer falls through pride. 2 falls, 1 condemnation. Here, the devil finally becomes a character. No longer a mere abstract accuser, no longer a faceless horde of demons. He becomes someone. With Milton, in Paradise Lost, the devil ceases to be simply evil and becomes the tragic hero of modernity. Better to reign in hell than serve in heaven. A line that burns with pride and dignity. Satan becomes the one who rebels against the system, who fights against the highest powers. The first revolutionary, the first to say no to authority. Byron takes him up and makes him his own. Cain, Manfred, figures who carry rebellion like a mark of honor. Baudelaire dedicates verses to him, calls him Prince of Exile, paints him as the wisest and most beautiful of angels, and is among the first to call him a divinity. Visual art transforms him. From a deformed medieval monster, he becomes a figure of decadent beauty, androgynous, cursed. And today we live in the age of the devil without realizing it. The satanic archetype permeates pop culture. Films, television series, music. He is no longer absolute evil, but the fascinating anti-hero, the one who breaks the rules, who chooses himself against the world. Extreme individualism, the rejection of all authority, the glorification of transgression, all of it has roots in the archetype of Satan. But there is more. The devil has always been the bearer of forbidden knowledge, the watchers who teach secrets, the serpent who offers the fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. The devil is the one who pushes man beyond imposed limits, who whispers, "You can be more." Perhaps that is why we cannot rid ourselves of him. Because the devil is not only evil, he is the part of us that wants to break the fence, that refuses paradise if the price is the renunciation of the self. He is the voice that says, doubt, question, seek. In the desert, the watchers still wait, bound. Azazel beneath the jagged rocks, Semeyaza in the darkness. Yet their names continue to circulate in invocations, in grimoires, in esoteric practices. Because the devil is also this, what is suppressed and always returns, what is hidden and resurfaces. Someone once wrote that the greatest trick of the devil is to persuade the world he does not exist. Not because he is literally a horned presence with hooves, but because he is an archetype that camouflages itself. He dresses in the garments of freedom, of self-assertion, of the will to power. And we follow him without noticing, convinced we are free while we reproduce his fall. Today, the devil does not need to tempt us with pacts sealed in blood. The promise of being ourselves is enough, of answering to no one, of being the architects of our own destiny. Do what thou wilt is not only the motto of Aleister Crowley, it has become the mantra of contemporary society. But what happens when everyone becomes Lucifer? When every man is his own god, his own center, his own hell? Perhaps we discover that Milton's lost paradise was already here, and we abandoned it for a desert made of mirrors. To the modern eye, the devil is the most human of figures, because apparently he is the only one who truly chose. The angels obey, men are confused, but the devil looked God in the eye and said no. He preferred hell to submission. From a certain point of view, the point of view of one who does not abandon himself to God, he is the archetype of dignity taken to its extreme, all the way to self-destruction. Perhaps we are in the age of Satan because we are in the age of absolute choice, where each person is forced to decide who to be without a map, without a sky to indicate the way. We are fallen watchers without knowing it, bearers of knowledge we cannot handle, children of an impossible union between heaven and earth. In the Book of Numbers, Satan was merely an obstacle on the road. Today, he is the road itself. No longer what blocks the path, but the path we have chosen. Downward, ever downward, convinced that at the bottom there is freedom, while there is only the desert where Azazel waits, bound beneath the stones. The devil is the only mythological figure who has won without fighting, because in the end we have taken on his features ourselves. Proud, rebellious, alone. And if Milton was right, if it truly is better to reign in hell than to serve in heaven, then we have obtained exactly what we desired. Now we reign, each of us over our own small personal hell, each of us king of ash and shadow, and paradise. Paradise remains there, eternal, empty, waiting for those willing to serve in order to love. Many, more or less consciously, have chosen, like Lucifer, like the Watchers, like every devil who has ever fallen. They chose themselves, and that perhaps is the true condemnation, but not us. We are disciples of Christ, disciples of the Son of God and Son of Man, who asks us to deny ourselves. And for that very reason over us the devil cannot prevail.